Welcome back to the Get Off the Treadmill podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs, where we show you how to build a successful business and to have a life too. We're going to dive into another topic that helps us make more money in less time and to get off the treadmill so we can experience a life of significance. And now, your host and the author of the #1 best-selling business book, Making Money is Killing Your Business, Chuck Blakeman.
Today, I'm with Bryan Farley. He is the president of Association Reserves Colorado and has completed over 3,000 reserve studies and earned the Community Associations Institute designation of reserve specialist. His 14 plus years of experience includes all types of condominium and homeowner associations throughout the United States, ranging from international high rises to historic monuments. And I know, Bryan, you're also working with government institutions as well. Welcome. We'd love to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to Bryan talk about freedom mapping, a while back we did a podcast together on freedom mapping and how he went from being a one-horse operator to a business and being able to move to his ideal lifestyle by freedom mapping. So take a listen to that as well. Today, we're going to talk about what we call the 7 stages of business ownership. And I'll preface this by just saying this is not about the 7 stages of business. This is about 7 stages of business ownership. I don't really care about my business or anybody else's business. I care about what it does to me or for me. And we developed the 7 stages of business ownership because we realized there was nothing out there that actually related how our businesses impact us individually and personally, when in fact, that's really the reason they're supposed to exist, is to give us the ideal lifestyle that we want. So we developed the 7 stages. I stole pieces of it from a number of friends of mine in the past, but about 18 years ago, we developed this and have refined it over the years. So it's about how your business impacts you. Bryan, just give me a quick overview. You saw this 7 stages thing for the first time. What did you see in it that might give you clarity? We always talk about clarity is power.
Sure.
And so what did you find in this idea of the 7 stages of business ownership that you hadn't seen before?
Well, for me, it was just a map, right? So when you use a map, why? Like, what are the things you're trying to get out of it? First of all, I try to figure out where you are today, like where am I right now? And then where am I going? So for me, that was a way to put my business on a map.
Nice.
I can now easily clarify, where am I right now? And then what then is the destination that I'm going to? And so again, it doesn't mean it has to be your definition of success, but it was nice to be able to see, like, here's the different stages that you could be, and here's where you could end up. And then here's some of the problems that you may face on each stage. So for me, again, it was a map. I just opened it up and I go, oh, okay, this is clearly where I am right now. This is clearly where I want to go in the future. Therefore, how can I get there?
That's beautiful. That's a simple, very simple way to understand the whole process. It's exactly what it is. It's the 7 stages, but it's really the stages of a journey from stage 1 to stage 7, from Los Angeles to New York.
Right.
And we give you 7 stages in that journey so you can see exactly where you are and then what you need to do to get to the next place so that you can get to whatever stage you want. And to your point, we'll say this again later, but there's the last 3 stages, stages 5, 6, and 7. Any one of those is a great place to land. And you get to decide what your business looks like and how it impacts you. And there's no such thing as being neatly and tidy in one stage. Most businesses like mine, I think it's strung across stages 5, 6, and 7. And sometimes we fall back to 4. And rarely, sometimes we even fall back to 3. But it most of the time is in stage 5, 6, and 7. And I like it that way. I wouldn't want it neatly in one stage. So let's go through the 7 stages briefly. And the other thing I'll say about them is there's no timeline to this. It's not like this is supposed to take 7 years. I've seen people go through stages 1 through 6 in a year and a half. I've seen people stuck in stage 4 for 20 years. So the objective here would be get through each stage as fast as you can. Embrace it, because embracing it will get you through it. Don't shun it. Don't hate it. Embrace stages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can get through them as fast as you can. Stage one is what we call a startup. Stage one start, these all start with S's, but stage one startup is basically where you get this idea and you put together a spreadsheet. And here's what it'll look like if I ever did anything. And stage one is the idea stage. Stage two, we call it survival. Stage two is where you print a business card, and as soon as you print a business card, you're losing money and you're losing time. The business is now costing you both time and money. That's how you know you're in stage two. Stage three is subsistence. Stage three is where you're actually breaking even. Your accountant comes to you and says, hey, for the last 2 or 3 or 4 months, you've been breaking even. You're no longer putting money into this business. That's a great place to be. And that's the first place where we feel any relief. But for me, at least, it lasted for about 10 minutes, because then I realized at any moment I could lose one customer or the economy could go south, and I'd be right back in stage two and I'd be bleeding all over again. I rushed through those first 3 stages because I know you never actually experienced those at length. You bought a business, a Rolodex, you bought a franchise, and you were almost very quickly right in stage 4. But I'm guessing you still had some of the anxieties of stage 1 startup, stage 2 survival, and stage 3 subsistence as you were getting into your business. Thoughts
Correct.
on that?
Yeah, because clients were not guaranteed. So yeah, it was very much, I bought the Rolodex. It's a consulting company, so I bought the Rolodex, but of course clients could leave tomorrow.
Right. And so you were essentially in stage 3, 4, wobbling back and forth like on the edge of a cliff, and any strong wind could have blown you right back onto the cliff face climbing up.
Correct.
Yeah. So I remember having built way too many businesses, 13 businesses in 10 different professions. Stages 1 through 3 were always, it was really like climbing a cliff face. You either repel down and quit, or you keep finding another hold and keep climbing up. And when you finally get to a ledge with stage 3 subsistence, where you can actually rest, it's like, this is great, but you're not done. So getting to stage 4 is where we call it, stage 4 is a stable business, stage 4 stability. And stage 4 is where your accountant comes to you and says, hey, Bryan, you guys are, for the last 3 or 4 or 5 months, you've actually made a little bit of profit. You're not breaking even. You're actually making a little money every month. You can go out and buy a hot tub. But that's what most people call the American dream. I'm finally at stage 4. It's a profitable business. But you and I know there's something wrong with stage 4. What is it? We love stage 4, and it might even be a euphoria for 6 months to 10 years if we're really good at deceiving ourselves. What's wrong with stage 4?
For me, I mean, it was miserable. Yeah, because you said it. It's funny because I'm laughing because it's so true. Like, unless someone tells you, you don't understand it. But yeah, you buy the hot tub, but you don't have time to use it, right? Like, if that's really what you want.
Right.
It was so funny. I remember just thinking, I bought the business thinking I'm going to be able to have so much time to myself now. I get to make my own hours, only to realize that there went my weekends, there went my nights, like every single day from, I remember, like 5 till 7 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, even, I was working. Like, so yeah, it was again, pulling out that map and being like, oh yeah, that's actually who I am. This is where I'm at. This is where I am right now.
So you were really experiencing stages 1 through 4 all at once. You really were in survival in a lot of ways, and trying to break even and hoping you made money. And even when you made money, there was always the upfront problem was that you were killing yourself time-wise. Even though you might be buying a hot tub, you didn't have time to make it. You bought the hot tub for somebody else.
Yeah, I didn't have time. I mean, it was so crazy. I remember just thinking, I didn't have time to even think about anything other than just getting that next email out, getting the next job done. It was it was a miserable, like, honestly, I would just say, like, not to be like self-pity, but it was just a miserable time looking back, which is okay. Like, it's okay to say, like, it's hard. I just remember thinking, like, wow, this is really tough. You know, how much longer can I do this? And
there's a number of things that could make it miserable. One that comes to mind is that, and I did this myself and realized the same thing. Oh no, not only did I buy myself a job, I didn't pay for my other jobs. I paid for this job.
Yeah.
And I'm working overtime and I'm not getting paid for overtime.
Yeah.
There's something really wrong with this. And I have no idea when this will be over.
For
I'm
sure.
now a hostage to whatever this will be like for the rest. This could be 30. I could be in this for 30 years. So there's all kinds of reasons why we could hate that. And to your point earlier, when you saw the 7 stages, this is what happened for me when we developed them. I realized this is not eternal. This doesn't have to go on for the next 30 years. I can get to the next step, and the next step, there is a place I can get to that will give me freedom in my business so that I can make more money in less time and get off this cliff face.
Yeah, for sure.
And is that, so as you looked at the 7 stages, what stages beyond 4 looked attractive to you?
Yeah, anything other than 4. I think I think for me it was because for my job we have to travel quite a bit. So there would be, I mean, like I say, I'm not trying to exaggerate, but yeah, you'd wake up at 4. Because I wanted to work out. So I would wake up at 4, I would work out at 4:30. And then if I could get in the car by 5 to a job, then I could, if I had to go to, like, let's say somewhere in the mountains, I could beat traffic, hopefully. And then by the time I get home, it'd be 6-ish, 6:30 or 7, right? And so that was truthfully where I was. And I remember just thinking like, oh, I'm so excited for Christmas, because maybe no one will email me, which is like not a healthy place to be, right? Because at some point you're going to hit burnout, and you're going to hit a point where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. And again, I am saying this not to be like, feel bad for me. It is more just to say, like, there's someone out there I know who feels that way, where it feels like it's a burden on your back, right? And so it's very normal, that feeling, to be feeling that feeling. And so that stage 4 is where I was, and I actually quite hated it. And so what was interesting then is I remember got to that stage 5 because I was able to make some hires, right? I had the revenue now, I can make some more hires. And that was like, truthfully, like a euphoric feeling of like, I get to go. And I remember I got to take a vacation, and it was just amazing. You know, it was like, what, 4 or 5 years after I had purchased the business, I took a vacation for the first time. But that was 2019. So that didn't last long because something happened in 2020, right? And all of a sudden I was back down to that stage 4 again, right?
Life is not perfect. You got the stage 5, and no business is going to stay in one place. We call it the roller coaster treadmill of business. So the difference between stage 4 and stage 5, very simply, is this. Stage 4 is you're making money, and you can be making a bucket load of money to take home. That's stage 4, because in stage 4, you are not making time. Your business is producing money, but it's stealing time. And in stage 5, you have figured out how to get your business to make both money, to produce both money and time, even if it's not all of both that you want. Might be not all the money you want. It might not be all the time you want. But I'm instead of putting money into the business, I'm making $75,000 a year, and I'm taking Fridays off. I want to be making $300,000, and I want to work 2 days a week. But I've got some money and some time, and that describes a stage 5 business. What's the head trash that you had to get beyond, if any, to get from stage 4 to stage 5? Because there's a lot of, we call it the big mindset shift for most business owners. There's things they have to deal with in their own heads in order to get to where they can actually begin to get other people involved in this in a way where they begin to make more money in less time.
You know, interestingly, I don't think I had any like self-doubt or anything like that. For me, it was truthfully just revenue. I needed the revenue to make those next steps. So it kind of took that effort, that hard work, particularly again, in my type of business, it just took more of my time to be able to generate the revenue in order to make that higher. So for me, it wasn't a self-doubt or, like you said, head trash. It was actually mostly just, is the revenue there that can sustain this?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I think you were early on in your business when you got the first 7 stages. For most business owners who have been in business for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I know I experienced going from stage 4 to stage 5 meant I had to get other people involved in producing and making decisions. And I wasn't quite sure anybody else could do that. This was my baby. I'd bled over it for 10, 15 years. So I had some head trash around. Nobody's as good. Nobody's as invested. Nobody's as knowledgeable. Nobody's as educated. Nobody is committed. And we got to get past all that stuff. So I appreciate that you didn't have that. And it probably made it easier I'm sure it made it easier for you to get to stage 5 than it would be for anybody else. All right, we're running out of time here. Stage 5 is where your money's making both time, your business is making both time and money. Stage 6 is where you're getting to where we would call your ideal lifestyle. I'm making all the time and all the money that I want to have an ideal lifestyle. So instead of making $75,000 a year and taking Fridays off, which is stage 5, I'm making $350,000 a year and I'm working 1 day a week or whatever it is you want to do. And that's stage 6. Stage 7 is I own this business, but I don't have to show up. I'm the myth. And I don't want to ever have that business. A lot of people want that one. That's just not me. So you get to decide, do you want to be in stage 5, 6, or 7? And I would say some of my business is in stage 7. Some of it's in stage 5. A lot of it's in stage 6. You get to decide, but clarity is power. And when you understand that you can move from stage 3 and 4 to stage 7 or 6 or whatever you want, now you know how to get there because you know where you want to end up. You can't end up in New York until you know where New York is. So any parting thoughts on how this has worked for you or wisdom that you can share with others?
Yeah, what encouraged me a lot was just knowing that I was not alone, that the things I was dealing with, the struggles, the frustrations, the anxieties, right? That's huge for me, at least. It's not unique. A lot of other business owners are dealing with those same sort of struggles. And what was nice about the knowing the stages there is that, okay, I was able to identify where I was and then how I can go out of that stage if it was causing me so much, so much exhaustion. And so that was huge. You're not alone in that stage.
Well, that's so important. And it reminds me of a great way to close this out. We call it the big chasm between stage 4 and stage 5, the big mindset shift, because too many times, and I had the same experience when I looked at other business owners who seem to have a life. And I thought they're either more lucky than I am, or they're smarter than I am. And I realized it's neither one of those. People who get a life and a business are not lucky or smart, they're intentional. And they have a different intention. Stage 4 is, I want to make money. Stage 5 is, I intend to build a business that makes money when I am not there. And when we watch that light go on in other people's lives, in my own life, when you figure out you don't have to make the money, you have to build a business that makes money when you're not there. That is the big mindset shift. And that will get you across that chasm. And that is about intention. It is not about smart or lucky. I built 5 businesses where I was a hostage. I changed my intention, and gee, what a surprise. In the 6th business, I got some freedom. So you get what you intend, not what you hope for. Intend to build a business that makes money when you're not there, and use the 7 stages to get there. It's a great way to kind of summarize what we've gone through today. All right, how can people get a hold of you to figure out how their HOA or their institute or even governments have this problem where they have these giant infrastructures and they have no idea how much money they're supposed to be saving, and all of a sudden they're hit with a $500,000 bill that they don't have the money for? How can they get a hold of you to figure out what those numbers are they should be reserving?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So the best way to reach out to us is go to our website, which is www.reservestudy.com. That's going to be the best place to go to for contact information and educational resources and just further information about our services. So thanks for letting me do that.
You bet. Yeah, we're glad to do that. We're excited to have you on and excited to give people some hope by just giving them somebody who's actually gone through the process of figuring out how to get freedom in your business. So appreciate you, Bryan. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Chuck.
That wraps up another episode of the Get Off the Treadmill podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe and hit the like button to ensure you are receiving the latest tools you need to grow your business and to get off the treadmill. If you want more information on the 3 to 5 Club, the Crankset Group, or to book Chuck as a business advisor, speaker, or workshop leader, you can contact us at grow@cranksetgroup.com. Until next time, have a great week.